So Stephen says,
excuse me, Francis.
did you start the meeting? Oh, did you start the meeting? Well.
So when you walk on the, you have to don't walk on the wires. Everybody walks on the cables, and then we have this type of problem. And people, they just trap into it, and then they don't say anything. It would be better if it has happened. That you tell us, I have by mistake who walked on the thing. Restart while you're make sure the video, the Wirecast camera is on.
The virtual camera?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it on now? Did you switch it on after restarting Wirecast? So yeah, you unplug the power, so it's basic. If things are unplugged, they don't work. General restart. Okay. Virtual camera is out. Virtual camera out is has been started. Okay. Share webcam. The sound is good? Okay. So, he says, I have heard you talk about the man who wanted to see how the guru tied his shoe. I'm curious what may have been served in lieu of turkey yesterday. What was it? I know it was Balaji, Indian food, yes. So I guess it was lentil soup. What it? South Indian cuisine. But what was specifically the turkey? The dal, right, for proteins. Doesn't look like turkey. And he says, and as you mentioned Meister Eckhart, how would you expand on his focus on the heart as a doorway to experiencing felt intimacy with consciousness and life? I think Eckhart didn't have the luxury we have to talk about the truth in no uncertain terms, with clarity. He would have been killed and burned at the stake in no time had he done so. So he had to use the politically correct type of discourse that was prevalent at the time within the church. And it was about the love for the love of the creature for God and the love of God for the creature. Already with what he said, it was enough for him to have been, for his statements, to have been declared heretic by the Pope. The same Pope who managed to have the head of the Templar order killed. These were dangerous times. We are not quite sure, actually, about what happened to Eckhart. He went to Avignon, where the Pope was, and he died there. We don't know how. And there might have been some kind of Khashoggi event there. His grave is nowhere to be found, for instance. And he was the head of the Dominican order, of one of the 2 or 3 major monastic orders of the time. So he was a big shot. So he didn't have the luxury to speak clearly. So if we say, well, it was superior because, or it was more interesting because he was speaking from the heart is too wet. The heart is too unfocused, imprecise, lacks clarity. He had no choice. Also, his writings are in German. Actually, he was one of the first German writers, because at the time everybody was writing in Latin. So there is also a theological work by him in Latin. So then he uses more reason, but he's still a prisoner of the political correctness of the language of the theologians of the time. There is an anonymous question. Personal autonomy has been an issue for me since the development of my psychiatric illness. My question has always been, how can I learn to trust myself when I can enter states where I am not really myself? For instance, I want to find the right dose of medication. But psychiatry is a bit of a guessing game, and my own doctor wants to sedate all the symptoms, no matter the cost really. In my case, unfortunately, I don't have the option to find a new doctor. But as I am a voluntary patient, I can put my foot down and ultimately steer the ship. Do you have any thoughts about learning when to trust my own judgment? I have known you only in your normal self. And you seem perfectly normal to me. So I don't know how you are when you are in one of those episodes. I don't know whether you have enough lucidity or clarity to see them coming, to see the It's a pity that you don't have the choice of a doctor in your socialized medicine system. Because the psychiatrists often they prescribe in a very mechanical way. That's all they do, and they are lazy, and they are not interested really in trying to fine-tune the medication that is going to work, to find the one that is going to work, and then to fine-tune it, and if needed to change it. There is no incentive for them because there is no competition. You have to be with them. You're cooked, you're stuck. Welcome to state healthcare. You see, you have no choice. You can perhaps try to find some doctor friend who can help you out with these prescription issues and trials issue. That would be my recommendation, because I've known many people who have a better life with a proper medication. And some people also can manage very well without. And also things may change as we age. You know, I'm not a doctor. It's very difficult for me to give a good opinion on that. When you don't have the choice and the competition, it's very difficult. But the good side of things is that when I have known you, you look perfectly normal. So your case is not a severe case. It's not a severe case. I've known other people who, even in even when they were between episodes, their behavior was still marginal, let's say. And I've known other people who were always abnormal in their behavior, no matter what. So, but that's all I can say. Brandon, I found this perfume seems to be stronger or more concentrated in groups. And so, in addition to retreats and satsangs with you, I am enjoying meeting new groups of truth-loving friends for dancing, singing, drumming, etc. Like you have said before, it doesn't matter what the activity. What we really enjoy sharing together is this nectar of fragrance. You said in one of your guided meditation that this world, this body, are still vibrant with the perfume of the emptiness from which they originate. I was wondering if you could speak a little more about this. By the way, there is a violinist who plays in one of the groups. He's this funny old guy, quite a character, with lots of great stories to tell. He only played a little bit, but it sounded very good. It wasn't until later that I found out that he has played in 17 different professional orchestras around the country. He lives right down the road in Fallbrook, and I thought he might make a good fit for classical night at a retreat sometime. Yeah. Tell him we have pianists here to love to play with him. So what was the question here? Groups. Well, yes. The greater the love for the truth in a group, the more perfume. So, yeah, it's part, the friends we have, the company we keep, are part of the celebration. They shouldn't be a chore. Mary, letting go of everything, question mark. Is there anything that one should hold back? Hence the fear of letting go. When I declutter my wardrobe and throw out something I later need, it makes letting go sometimes, as a line in the song goes, letting go is hard to do. Yeah. Regarding the wardrobe, the piece of advice is everything you have not been wearing over the previous year, there is a very small likelihood that you are going to wear it the next year. Yeah, so just get rid of it. If you need it, buy a new one. It's unlikely to happen. I mean, I'm not talking about, you know, items such keeping a wedding dress just in case you have to do it again. But Mary, you know, you're making it too complicated. Because, as I have often said, there are not too many things to let go of. There is only one thing. Only one thing. Not many things. Just let go of the belief to be a separate consciousness. That's all. All you have to let go of is one single belief. So you can focus on letting go of that belief. Then you become very efficient. And then the rest, Who cares? So if you keep your old wedding dress or whatever in your closet. Okay, any questions here?
Is it on? Yeah. This morning I was bugged again by a question that I'm pretty sure I've asked you in one way or the other. But I couldn't find the answer again, so I'm trying to ask again. I heard you often say that ignorance is a choice we as consciousness make. So, if consciousness is one, only one consciousness, I'm still having, I got confused again by this, trying to imagine how it is possible that one consciousness is at the same time making a choice to stay as what it is, to see itself for what it is, absolute freedom, limitlessness, and at the same time playing the game of ignorance through other body minds.
It doesn't make the choice to be what it is what it is. The choice is with ignorance or no ignorance. So, what seems to you to be difficult to represent or to is the simultaneity of being consciousness and being ignorant. Isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
And the analogy I give is the one of the night dream, in which you are surprised by a sudden event that happens in your dream. Like an accident. You have an accident in your dream. And you didn't see it coming. However, when you wake up, you realize that you were the one creating the accident. So at the same time, you are creating it, and you are surprised by it. Meaning, at the same time, you are creating it, and you don't know it. So it is the same thing. The fact that the ignorance about the accident is similar to the ignorance about your true nature. The accident is ignorance. You see, you are creating it, but at the same time, you are ignoring that you are creating it. Up until you investigate, which is tantamount to waking up from your dream, and then you realize, oh yes, I was creating it. Why? Because there was no compelling evidence that I was a separate consciousness. So it was my choice, my decision to believe that way.
But this clarity, this waking up is when it's there, you wake up from a dream, you realize, oh, it was just a dream.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems that there's at the same time, I hesitate to say within the body minds because that's not the case, but within consciousness, this clarity about what it is, this awakened